YouTube. I don't want to say welcome back. I don't want to say what's up YouTube because even though it's been a while since I made a video, we tighter than that. So I ain't found no name to call y'all yet, but I ain't found no name to call y'all yet, but we gonna work it out. But anyway, welcome back to my channel, and I know it has been a long time. I think the last time I posted a video was about a year ago, and the only reason it took so long for me to return back to YouTube is because I'm not just a dispatcher. I have so much other stuff going on, and so it's hard to carve out that time to just make dispatching content. So I came back to YouTube because I feel like it's easier if I just take y'all on a journey with me as I do everything that I do, which is run a trucking company, do my consulting firm, Airbnbs, real estate, tour rentals, and just live like an everyday life. And just break down those things as I do them. That will make it easier for me to teach y'all instead of trying to carve out 2 and 3 hours a day to record dispatching content. So I feel like it's gonna be a little easier. So I'm ready to take y'all along on this ride, and I hope y'all enjoy the content that's coming. In this video, I kind of wanted to not really reintroduce myself because I still have my videos up, but I did want to go back and answer a lot of questions that were in the comments for those freight brokering and dispatching videos. And I was writing the questions down, but y'all, there was a lot of questions. So I'm gonna go over the questions that I did write down, and then I'm gonna just start going through the comments as they're written on the videos. So that way you guys can have your questions answered, and we can get back into giving y'all this good information so y'all can start your own businesses, your own dispatch services, your own freight brokerages, all that. And I'm still trying to do YouTube videos in one shot, as less editing as possible. So the videos will be the same, raw, transparent, dope. The videos will be the same. And yeah, so let's get into it. Now, so the first question is how to book a class. You can go to my website, bqoat.com. It's always linked in the description of the YouTube video, but from now on, I'll actually link the classes, and then you could just click on the classes and book them that way. And however, if you go to the regular website, bqoat.com, you just need to go under events, and the classes are listed there. Next question is, what did I file for my freight brokerage when filing with the state? I filed for an LLC. You can file for a sole proprietor, especially if it's just you working, and then eventually go off or upgrade to an LLC. You don't have to jump out there and get an LLC and, spend a lot of money up front. You can start as a sole proprietor, especially as a dispatcher. You can start as a sole proprietor and eventually move into an LLC. The next question is, explain the process of the credit check. And I believe she was basically asking me, do the dispatchers need to do this? Actually, the freight brokers do this, and the factoring companies do the credit check. If you're a dispatcher, you're able to see the credit score on your load board. If you use DAT load board, when you go into search loads and the loads come up for the freight brokerage or the shipper, whoever has that load, it'll have a CR, and that'll be their credit rating. They'll also show you days to pay. Is dispatching training necessary? Yes and no. But at least I feel like you should at least have some knowledge of I feel like you should at least have some knowledge of the trucking industry. I recommend having some sort of, or at least a good dispatcher training, so you don't go into being a dispatcher blind, but I don't feel like it's necessary. I just feel like you need to have a good understanding of how the trucking industry works and how being a dispatcher works. And you can learn that through YouTube like you're doing right now, or you could purchase a dispatcher course. Does freight dispatching require your own truck? Not for the dispatcher, no. The carrier, of course, you can't dispatch loads without the carrier having trucks. But if you're a dispatcher, you don't need a truck. You just need a computer. If you don't have a computer right off the bat, you can use an iPad or a tablet. You need a phone. You need internet, a printer. You don't really need a scanner and a fax anymore, because they have like scanner and fax apps on the phone, so you can use that. And then I would say that's about it. That's it that you need for that. If I think of something else, of course I'm gonna elaborate on that. But I did do a how to start a dispatch video already, so y'all could go back and check that out. Okay. What is freight forwarding and how did I get into it? Freight forwarding is being like the intermediate person between who does the shipment and where the shipment goes. So y'all know how when they do like cargo on the water, train, air, things like that, most of the times freight forwarders are setting those loads up. How does that differ from a freight broker? Freight forwarders can help store loads. So how did I get into being a freight forwarder? Is when I purchased the warehouse for my freight brokerage. I kind of just jumped out there and did something. I'm not gonna say I didn't really know what I was doing, but I wasn't expecting to do that. And because I talked to some people in the area who were doing something similar, they kind of like put me on and told me what to do and how to get my permits and everything that I needed to do freight forwarding, especially since I already had a facility to store loads. And so that's how I got into it. Did I get freight waves when I started my brokerage? No, honestly, I didn't even know what freight waves was until I read your question. No, I did not. I only used truckstop.com, DAT, and Truckers Edge when I started. A new program that I am using though now, which helps me when I'm looking for different shippers, is called Zoom Info. You do have to pay for that software. However, it is an up-to-date listing of different manufacturers and shippers around the country. I will do a video on how to use that and also how to sign up. But if you want to get into that before I make my video, you can just reach out to the people at Zoom Info and they will set up a demo for you and teach you all about the program. They'll go over a pricing plan with you and show you how it can benefit you as a freight broker. Freight dispatchers do not need that. So remember, that's only if you want to do like the freight brokerage owner operator type thing, or even if you just want to do sales period. Zoom Info is a good software for that. Next question is, how does a person become a factoring agent? I have no idea. I do use a factoring company, but I don't know how someone becomes a factoring agent. So I'm thinking you were asking, how does a person become a freight agent? And how do you do that is you could just sign up to work under someone's freight brokerage. For example, if I was hiring for freight agents, you don't need like a license or anything. I could just hire you on, teach you how to do it. You grow your book of business, and then eventually you could go off and get your own authority and be a freight broker, or continue to be a freight agent for someone else. Could I share some cold calling script for dispatchers? Absolutely, but in a separate video, because when I make that video, I just want you guys to focus on getting notes from that type of script, and then practice using that script with the video. So I don't want to go into much detail here, but of course. What documents are needed in order to send drivers, send drivers out on loads? I use something called a carrier packet, and it consists of, well, to send drivers out on load. Well, yeah, a carrier packet. This is something you will send your carrier, and they basically will send it back, sign an agreement. Excuse me, sign an agreement between you and them, which will give you all their payment information. So when you are booking loads, you're able to send this documentation to the broker or the shipper. It would also include their insurance, their authority, and any documentation that's needed for compliance. Also, if you're sending them out on a load, then what you would need is a rate confirmation, which you get from the broker. That's a document between you and the broker, and that shows what you agreed upon for the rate, where you're picking up from, where you're dropping off from, if there are any incentives. And then a bill of lading is what you get when you pick the load up and drop the load off, and that's signed by the driver, and that's confirmation that the load was dropped off and the shipper or receiver accepted the load. And when I make a new video, I'll go into detail on that too. But if you want to go back to the dispatcher video, I have talked about that already. And I'm actually going to start offering a carrier packet on my website, so that you're able to just go and download it and just input your info and logo, and then it's a ready to go document that'll help you out. So now those were all the questions that I wrote down. So now I'm just going to go off my phone and read the questions as they were on the video. What did you do to actually get the carriers you have and dispatching for now? I have my own drivers, so I also have my own team of dispatchers. I don't necessarily dispatch anymore unless one of my beautiful dispatchers have to call in for something. What I did to get my drivers, I do the same thing I told y'all to do. I call and I sell my services to them. The dispatchers that I have are also allowed to call and get their own drivers so they can build their book of business, because the goal is essentially for them to potentially go off and start their own dispatch services if they want to, or they can continue to work under me. It's whatever they want to do. But I call and sell my services to them, and either they come and pull loads for me or they don't. It's not always a yes, but you have to understand that going into being a dispatcher or a freight broker, everything is not going to be a yes, and it takes some time to get your first load as well as your first driver. Where have I been? I told y'all where I've been. I'm sorry. I don't just do the trucking company. I used to run so many businesses, but then I stopped. And I'm just focusing on, it's really just 3 businesses right now. My trucking company, my consulting firm, and then it's like a branch of the consulting firm. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. But I had so much going on. It just took a lot of time to just sit down and make dispatch only content. That was tough. So I'm sorry, but I'm back now. My goal is to drop a video every Sunday, and then potentially go to dropping videos twice a week. But right now I'm trying to drop a video every Sunday, which I know this is about to drop on a Friday, but that's because I'm trying to, get back in the algorithm, or get my content back out there to you guys. Do you have any courses on making the dispatch flyers or business cards? I do not, but a tip for that is use Canva. I was making all my own flyers, and when I was using Canva, and also a website called postermywall.com. You do have to pay for both of them if you want premium features. But if not, then just use the free software or invest in someone from Fiverr.com or Etsy.com to make you a good flyer. Let's see. I recently started a freight brokerage company. Can I start a dispatch service as well to help with income as long as I keep the two businesses separate and don't double broker? Honestly, you don't even have to keep them separate. Double brokering is a freight broker getting a load. Double brokering is a freight broker getting a load from another freight broker and giving it to a carrier. That's double brokering because the broker already had the load. And the broker that you got it from assumes that you are a driver and that you're going to take the load, but you're a freight broker, and now you're trying to kind of like it's not really double dipping, but you're a broker and you're trying to give that load to a driver or to one of your drivers. That's double brokering. Freight brokering and dispatching is two different things. You potentially, freight brokering, you have to put the loads on your load board, and when you get a driver, that is dispatching. What you would do is just when you give the load to your driver, if he doesn't have a dispatcher and you're acting as dispatcher, you would make sure you are providing all those services as a dispatcher. If you need more information about that and double brokering, put something in the comment and I'll do better to elaborate on it. But you for sure can, because I do it. With my trucking company, we do freight brokering and dispatching, and there's really nothing to separate because that's not double brokering. Double brokering is a freight broker getting a load from another freight broker and trying to pass it off as their own. That's what it is. How can I check out your training? I already told you, bqoat.com. And actually, I just dropped a sale on classes. I discounted the prices until Monday, August 28th at midnight. Dispatching training is $99. Freight broker training is $200. And then I'm also dropping a dispatching and freight brokering book tonight at midnight that I may put on sale also, but I'm not sure about that yet. Don't have my first carrier, but I'm having the hardest time with the paperwork part. Paperwork is easy, baby. As a matter of fact, if you give me a couple more days, I'll have paperwork packets on my website for you to just download and put your info into, and you'll be able to use that with your carriers. Hey, I do have a truck and I'm ready to run. How can I apply? You can... you would just need to email me at bellison@bqoat.com, and then I'll go over all your paperwork and see if you are compliant, and then we can start with loads from there. These are basically the same questions. What percentage do I charge for my dispatch services? My dispatchers charge anywhere between 3% and 8%. It just depends on if it's a new dispatcher that was just hired on and she's learning, she's probably going to be on that lower end. But if you are one of my top dispatchers and provide the services that I require you to provide, then you're charging the 8%. Or you could sometimes go higher depending on your driver, because they love what we do. So I mean, they don't have a problem with paying what we charge. Is there a way to connect with me? Yes, you could connect with me through email, bellison@bqoat.com. All of that will be linked in the video description. Nobody tells the truth about how long before you get a carrier, because Nobody tells the truth because how long it takes is all dependent on you. You could get a carrier the moment you watch this video, or you could get a carrier 2 months from now. It all depends on how much work you put into it. You can't, and that's the thing, what we have to stop doing is when we watch YouTube videos or when we take a class, we have to stop looking at their success or their exact steps and thinking that's how it's going to be for us, because it's not. Getting a carrier is based on you. If you call one carrier a day, you may not get a carrier for 2 or 3 months. But if you sit down and what you put into being a dispatcher is exactly what you get out of it. So, it's not that people are gatekeeping. It's that there is no truth. You have to put the work into it to get some out of it. Point blank, period. Okay. Let's see. That was it for that. What video is that? Let me see. Don't get in my comments talking about no editing either. I already told y'all. It's the how to get carries. Okay. So.
Sick of hiring center.
It's not that many comments on this one. Okay. I appreciate all the positive comments too. How much do you pay to post your dispatching service on Indeed? I used to pay out that. I'm just kidding. I used to. It did get expensive though, because it was going on like how much or how many times you wanted your ad to be ran, how many areas you wanted it in, and eventually I stopped because it was just not as I don't want to say productive, but it was not what I needed. I did better by calling the carriers myself and getting them, or advertising on Facebook, Craigslist, things like that, going to the truck stops. I did better doing that than paying Indeed, because essentially it was just like most of the time people calling for the wrong reasons. So yeah. What do you use to check the broker's credit? If you are a freight broker, it should come with your load board software. But if you are a dispatcher, it is on the load board when you search loads for your drivers. If you're using DAT, it's the number next to the letter CR. That's their credit rating. This was a year ago, but no, I'm not hiring anyone right now. Can I list some good Facebook groups? Of course. I'll put them in the description. That way you can I'll try to get the links, and then that way you can just click on the links and go and join the groups. 3 months ago, is anyone doing the things they say and not having any luck? If you're not having any luck, reach out to me by email. I'm okay with that. And let me see if I can help you with that. How many carriers have you gained this way? Several, actually, because like I said, you have to call and sell your services. So several. And then I also teach my dispatchers to do the same thing. Let's see. Okay.
What's up, dispatchers?
Okay.
What's up, dispatchers?
And that might have been all of the questions. Yeah, because most of these are the same. Most of these are the same type of questions I've already answered. So that's it for the questions. If you have any more questions, always feel free to drop them in the comment section below, and I'll answer them as I can. As I stated before, I just dropped the prices of my courses. They'll be linked in the video description, and I'm also going to drop some books tonight that'll be linked in the description as well. And again, I really appreciate all the support. I appreciate all the subscribers. Let's go ahead and hit that 1,000 subscribers. So like, comment, share, get the video out there. I'm going to try to post more frequently. And thank y'all for just waiting. It's been a year. It won't be another year before I post another video, I promise. But yeah, thank y'all, and let's come on along for this ride. It's gonna be fun, and I hope y'all learn a lot.